When I was a little boy, my father and I used to play Scrabble all the time. I love the game. I learned a lot of things about life from Scrabble. And I'm going to try to connect Scrabble to AI. Bear with me. Bear with me. So the game about Scrabble, in case you don't know, is that you get this bag of letters, you shake it up, and you select letters that you put on a piece of board. And the key about the game is that you get the letters in whatever order they come out of the bag, and your goal is to put the letters together on a board to make a word that makes sense. Okay? So sometimes you get a good hand, sometimes you get a bad hand. But the interesting thing about Scrabble is when you put together words, when you put together these letters, the person that you are playing this game with has to know whether or not the word makes sense. So this is where your poker face comes in. You take a letter A, another letter A, and then P, and X, ax. And then you stare your opponent and say, I promise it's a word. And at that point, they have a decision to make. Do they trust or do they call your bluff? And if they call your bluff and you're wrong, everyone goes to the dictionary to see if the words that you put together actually are in the dictionary. And if you're wrong, you miss a turn. And if they are right, then you have to take the pieces off the board again. And so Scrabble taught me a very important lesson about data, putting together things that make sense, and who gets to decide what this dictionary is. And these are the key components of artificial intelligence. The data, the sampling of the data, the putting together data so that it makes sense to someone. And so that someone, as it stands, is the collective intelligence of all of us here. All of us here, all of us in the world. Because AI, as it stands, is learning from people. So what is the ground truth?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
How many people have seen this movie, The Matrix? Okay, it's one of my favorite movies. This is how we don't want AI to evolve, okay? If we're watching this movie, this is what we definitely don't want. But this question that was posed by one of the characters, Morpheus, poses a question about our sense of reality, or who gets to decide what this ground truth is. What is the dictionary? Because without the dictionary, you can put together any pieces of letters and call it a word. So the dictionary is absolutely critical to artificial intelligence. And who gets to decide what is real, what is this dictionary, gets to shape the world. So very important. And here we are going to hopefully have these discussions about who gets to decide what is real and what is this dictionary. So let's just, in a very high level, go through the process of human learning. So we have our sensors, we can see the screen, we can hear, we acquire data, we develop some type of model in our minds. And a lot of the tasks that we do as humans is to classify. So the question I posed in the beginning, what's in this bag? Out of all of the possible combinations, you made a choice. That is a classification task. A classification task is this a podium? Is that a watch? Many of the things that we learn are how to categorize or classify things. And then we get feedback. Now, Nadia and I are blessed to have 2 young children, our son Declan, who's 8, and our daughter Dahlia, who's 5, and they're in this process of learning. And up until this point, a lot of the feedback that they get are from us as parents. Can I have candy at 8 p.m.? No, you can't have candy at 8 p.m. This feedback from parents or from people in society that we respect contributes to our learning. And so what we've done for artificial intelligence is replicate this process. We have artificial sensors that acquire data, that develop some type of artificial model, and are involved in classification tasks as well. Now, where does the feedback for machines or AI come from? As it stands, that feedback comes from people, us. So if we are not aligned, then the machines are just going to replicate what feedback we provide for them. And so this idea of artificial intelligence only being for engineers or computer scientists, no, artificial intelligence impacts us all. And so the collective intelligence of the feedback that's provided to these AI models should be representative of humanity. Okay, I said that this was going to be an interactive session. Here's another quiz. Okay, this is to test your classification abilities. What is this? Okay, I hear people say an apple. Any other? A fruit? Now, can I reach into the screen and grab this file? Does anyone want to update their? A picture of an apple. Picture of an apple. Machines are literal. A picture of an apple is quite different from the physical apple itself. Okay? It gets harder. Are you ready? What is this? A picture of a banana. Are there any differing views on what this is? An AI version of a banana. Any other guesses in the audience? If you guessed a picture of a plantain, you are accurate. They're quite similar, but they're not the same thing. Now imagine we were training an AI model on the collective feedback of this audience on what this banana plantain is. What would the AI model then predict when it's ready to classify? So this highlights the criticality of diverse perspectives, inputting feedback into these AI models. So I'm not sure what was going on in your brain, but you saw some picture and some of a banana and an apple, and you made some classification. And typically that's based on our collective experience in life. So many of us go to the store, we see bananas, our mental models immediately go to that. I've asked and posed this question in the global south, and they actually accurately predicted this to be a plantain, which highlights the importance of data sets. When we talk about AI being a global, geopolitical, strategic importance to the US, hopefully this motivates why we need to think about US leadership on a global scale. We want to get these classifications as right as often as possible.